5 seconds.
It never crossed my mind at the beginning at all that what I was doing was risky. Maybe that is what makes you an entrepreneur, that risk button just isn't there.
What I really think that we're enabling people is to be able to actually make someone a fresh loaf of bread and being able to share that amongst themselves. We can help anyone make great food.
They say there's never a good time to quit, but I think I picked a particularly bad time.
I was very good at making money. It was one of these things that came natural to me. I was the only one who had money on a Thursday evening. They used to call me the bank.
The EY Entrepreneur of the Year Award celebrates the best in entrepreneurial spirit, north and south. 24 nominees are vying to follow in the footsteps of previous winners who've shown the best in business leadership around the country and the world. Over the next 5 weeks, we follow the finalist stories as they compete for the title EY Entrepreneur of the Year 2015.
We're really privileged in our company. We work in beauty. And beauty is a really happy place to work. We make women happier about themselves and about life in general. We make people smile.
What started with her own homemade cosmetic gloop, as she describes it, has grown into a multi-million-pound cosmetics business based in Belfast. Vita Liberata is the brainchild of Alyson Hogg. Today, she's appearing on shopping TV with her killer product, a tanning mousse. Previous appearances have been known to generate over €2 million in sales in 24 hours.
QVC for us is a tremendous opportunity. I mean, it's insane.
Vita Liberata tan. This is the tan that I wore last week. For me, as your salon and your beauty expert, it's had a massive buzz in the industry. It's had a massive buzz in like the XL beauty and the pro industry.
We've got some extra medium phenomenal to use as testers. One for you, one for the presenter, and 2 for the models.
Okay, and tissues?
We've got tissues as well.
It had Vita Liberata on it. Genuinely had.
In the US, they beam into 96 million homes, so we never think about that, because that's freaky.
On the break.
The woman who's watching these programs, she's me. We have many avenues of sales, but for me, the opportunity to talk straight to that older woman like myself is just phenomenal.
We've had this on the market, I suppose, a total of 3.5 years,
Wow.
and now we sell 1 a minute.
The idea of the tanning came from literally looking at what was on the market and saying, I wouldn't use that. So if I'm not going to use that, I'm going to assume that most of my friends wouldn't use that. And so I literally went into a lab and took a tick list of everything that was wrong with this and decided to fix it. And that's what we did.
The simplest thing in the world.
And it genuinely does instantly dry.
Yeah.
We create everything. We take an idea, we turn it into a product, we communicate it, we put it on shelf, and we sell it to you.
Alyson's career started in television. She then moved to politics, working for the Northern Ireland Women's Coalition. A mum of 5, she was about to embark on a PhD when she had her light bulb moment.
For the whole business, the original idea came from me trying to find something less stressful than a PhD to do with 5 small children, and took a really long time. First of all, I had to learn about business. I had to learn about how to survive, so there was a lot to learn. We've remortgaged our house twice. We've sold everything that was left to sell. When people say to me, you know, you need to have skin in the game, I'm going like, I'm flayed. All my skin is in this game. My father and my husband Colin believed in me the whole way through, which is ironic because we're 85% women and it's 2 men who believed in me so totally that I just felt I'm not going to close the doors on myself.
Today, Vita Liberata sells into 26 countries across the globe. With her communications background, Alyson is very comfortable making the most of marketing tools like social media and video blogging.
This particular one that we're using today is the gold, so it's essentially like light. It is just luminescence.
I could be in London, New York, LA.
It's Friday evening, it's getting very close, it's only a couple of days, and then it's going to be the Oscars.
San Francisco, Chicago, Dublin, and Belfast, all in 7 days. And in fact, that's a pretty average week. That's a bit insane, isn't it? But gotta be done. I'm very lucky. I bring my husband Colin with me, who is also my global sales director and does an amazing job at that. So we spend most of our time working, but also living. So we live and work at the same time.
You are tall, aren't you?
I'm very tall.
Today, Alyson is on her way to Buckingham Palace to collect the Queen's Award for Enterprise for the second year in a row.
I think you'll fit in well with royalty. And say, Mom. Mom.
The Queen's Award is the highest accolade that the UK can give to industry. It's a tremendous accolade for the company as a whole. So it's not just for me, it's for everybody. That it says something about your business, that you're doing something really right.
Let's go.
Really? No phone?
No phone.
And it's great for a little Northern Ireland company to win it twice. There's a lot of luck in there. Let nobody tell you otherwise. But you really need to see the big picture. You need to be able to keep focusing on that and never, ever, 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 ever becoming complacent about what we do. So there's an awful lot of details that have to go in between, but sure, that's just work.
Sean Brett is quick to say that growing up in the west of Ireland was what set him on the entrepreneurial road. His third successful business, Steeltech Sheds, is Ireland's leading manufacturer of garden sheds and garages.
I always love working with vehicles, working with engines. My wife's not that keen on going out of this. It's a bit bumpy and it's a bit drafty and a bit windy, but the young lads love it and it's something you can share and pass on the interest. The McLaren is a replica of the car Lewis Hamilton. He would have won the World Championship with this car. I couldn't resist it when it came on the market, and it's good for attracting people in. You never know, the parents might buy a shed when they're here, so that's the whole idea. It's not a car you'll be bringing to work every day because quite expensive to run, but it's a beautiful car to take out on a Sunday afternoon. She has a good V8 sound. Being brought up on a small farm in the west of Ireland, well, we didn't pay much attention at school. When we came home from school, we were immediately put to work on the farm. 15 acres it's not an easy living, and I had a father who was too proud to draw the dole. Most farmers do a farmer's dole, so it was a tough environment.
At 18, Sean was working in construction. By 22, he'd started his first business, a house painting service in Galway.
That went quite well for a number of years. In the winter it was quiet, so looking for something to do in the winter, one day I thought, sure, I'll sell coal. How hard can that be? You're black from dirt and you're knocking on doors and it's raining and you're cold and you're trying to sell coal, so you're working in difficult circumstances. We stuck with it and we built up a very good coal business. So it was a great training ground from a sales point of view. You were continuously knocking at doors, making sales, getting new customers. So learned an awful lot from selling coal for sure. Putting coal into people's timber sheds, you'd see the shed, the door mightn't close after 2 weeks of getting the shed. Within a year, the shed was leaking. So we identified a gap in the market there for a proper shed. And we made our first steel shed about 20 years ago now, so we've never looked back.
This year, Sean relocated to the former Coca-Cola factory in Tuam, breathing new life into an old landmark with his growing business.
This was here for over 50 years as a Coca-Cola factory, and last January it came on the market. So we were delighted to get the chance to purchase it because we were desperately stuck for space. So the fact it's a 40,000 square foot on a 9-acre site, it also allows us expansion down the road, so we're very happy with the deal. Yeah, you see here, particularly the grey colour.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the apex is too high.
The Irish market is very good, but we're just a tiny little dot on the world map. 4 million people, England's 50 million people. So if we can control the English market, which is, yeah, I'm ambitious and I want to take over the English market completely, and definitely then we can look at Europe. Over here, we see here there's no door on this shed, so obviously the customers won't have
to go here and slide that way.
Yeah. Sometimes at the weekend you're waiting for Monday morning. It might sound a bit sad, but I absolutely love going to work. I get a great kick out of it. It's got to be fun, because we're only here for a short time, so we should make the most of it. So where does an opportunity go for it? Obviously, I like making money, I like spending money, I like the lifestyle it creates. But when one thinks deeply about the drive and the ambition, I think it really comes from childhood and being brought up in the west of Ireland, as I say, on a small farm of land. The thing about that is that it certainly leaves you with plenty of ambition.
The winner of the 2014 EY Entrepreneur of the Year is Mark Roden Ding.
The EY Entrepreneur of the Year Award celebrates the achievements of the best in business leadership on the island. Only one of the 24 nominees will follow in the footsteps of last year's winner, Mark Roden of mobile payments business Ding.
Winning the award, I think, really put us on the map. There was a huge sense of accomplishment, and this was an acknowledgement that we're on the right track and there's a really exciting future. Entrepreneurs are the visible face of innovation. Lots of people have ideas, but entrepreneurs don't let opportunities pass them by.
The world really needs entrepreneurs, really needs their job creation, wealth creation. They solve problems right around the world. They innovate and create new technologies. So this is an incredibly important sector for the global economy. And we're very proud to have the leading programme of acknowledging and celebrating the success of these entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurship can be a lonely journey. Without these single-minded individuals, the world we live in would be a very different place.
I think people genuinely admire and respect people who take a chance and try and improve themselves and try and do something. Over 2/3 of the people employed in the Irish economy are employed by small and medium-sized enterprises, and those businesses didn't simply fall out of the sky. It took somebody to say to themselves, I'm going to go and create this business, I'm going to go and build something around this idea that I have. And it creates over half of our national income.
Our country of 4 million to 5 million people is relatively small as a market. If you want your business to be successful, it has to be big. And if you want to be big, you have to be global.
Each of the nominees are successes in their own right. Their stories similar, but unique to them. One of them will be the next EY Entrepreneur of the Year and go on to represent Ireland on the world stage.
The multinational corporations will always look after themselves. We need to look after our own people, our own entrepreneurs.
Ben Harris is CEO of Drop, a Dublin-based mixture of hardware and software blended together to create an ingenious kitchen product. It's an interactive weighing scales and app for budding chefs and the sons of chefs.
So what are you making? There's a new scone recipe that actually someone suggested the other day, and they suggested through Twitter, I think, and we've just added it. Place bowl on drop. It's no different from your average scale. It's essentially a load sensor with a Bluetooth connection. Where the real smarts come in is in the interactive recipe app. And so you can just see exactly how much you need to add in. And we're doing that by breaking recipes down into individual bite-sized pieces so we can walk with you through the whole recipe, and we can be that generous mentor that's sitting right beside you going, yeah, that's the right amount of milk to add to this. Oh, just make sure the recipe looks like this photo. Oh, here's a video of exactly how to cream butter. So transfer we can help anyone make great food.
I'm getting very hungry now, Ben. So it's a bit like a sat-nav for baking, it just gets you there. Do you want a hand?
I've always had food in and around me when I was growing up. My mum started Ireland's first gourmet sandwich bar, Munchies. My dad started a couple of restaurants. When I went on to study product design, I always wanted to bring food and technology together. You need to, first of all, with recipes, understand that it is a ritual that people really enjoy, and we have to make sure that we embellish that.
After only 12 months on the market, Drop can now be found in kitchens in 96 countries and is one of the few non-Apple products sold by Apple.
We don't want to be a closed cookbook. You know, it's incredibly important for us to start to integrate with other recipe publishers and starting to allow them to upload their own recipes, and then enabling anyone at home to upload their own recipes.
Here's another tweet from Target Open House, like in San Francisco. They said, "Hey, Drop Kitchen, let's say someone was craving a freshly baked cookie. Can you pull your weight?"
Another terrible pun.
Another terrible weight pun.
Where we see our long-term growth is it coming from the community and coming from the proud chefs who have just finished making a recipe and sharing that and really allowing them and giving them a place to thrive and building a product that they're happy to shout about. Yeah, nice. We're releasing a pipeline of smart physical products for the kitchen. We decided to start with the scale. The next thing is temperature. It's something that's hugely important. At the minute, you just throw whatever you're cooking into the big black box that is the oven. But you know, it's really bringing smarts to that. And then from there, working our way around the kitchen. So that's what we really need to think about, just this being the hero shot on the front of the packaging itself and just cleaning this whole piece up.
The scales are a mix of functionality and top-drawer industrial design, reflecting a suite of skills shared by the company's management team.
So, like, it all has to finish with it.
Yeah.
The three other guys have actually been working together on and off for about 10 years. My brother put me in touch with them, and the second we met up, we really hit it off. You know, we've got very complementary skill sets when you look at pure product development. We've built such a great rapport.
Oh, wow. Yum. They smell delicious as well, Ben. To see that he followed his passion, it's great, because he's doing what he loves, and that's really the main thing.
It's great to be, you know, enabling people to make great food and not having this social network through a glass screen, but actually sitting amongst friends and sharing proper food and enjoying that around the table. I could eat these all day.
And they're filling too, aren't they?
I need to get a cup of tea.
Dave O'Flanagan's company Boxever analyses your travel preferences and makes tailored offers to tempt you. Today, the company employs more than 60 people between Boston and Dublin. But getting started in 2011 was a massive leap of faith for Dave.
I've got 3 kids. Gemma's 6, Millie's 4, and Ted's 1. But Millie was born at the same time as I quit my job, and I had a mortgage, and I had all the commitments that a dad with a young family would have. For me, I think first and foremost, I wanted to do something myself. I just never took the leap. And as time went on, I just realised that there was never going to be a good time to do this. And if I didn't do it and try it and really commit to it and see if I could do it, then it would always be eating away at me, you know. It was my wife, ultimately, who just said, look, I'm behind you, we can do this together, and it is a joint effort. And she was the one who ultimately pushed me, because she could see how just unhappy I was, just clocking in 9 to 5.
Boxever's customer data analysis allows the world's biggest travel brands to create targeted offers for their customers, from New Zealand to the United States.
I think that human touch has somehow gone out of the digital age. If we look back 30 years and look at me, I grew up in a little village called Durrow in the centre of Ireland. You know, my local shopkeeper was my uncle, you know, and he knew everything about all his customers. He knew their family, he knew what they ate on a Friday, he knew what they might like to eat on a Saturday, and on that basis they trusted him to make recommendations, and they bought and traded with the shopkeeper. I think at the essence of what we're trying to do is bring that personal touch back into the travel company. When you arrive on the site, it recognises who you are, it's learned what types of hotels or what types of flights you take. For me, just like the shopkeeper, it's a win-win. People say that you're never going to be able to sell this software to these big airlines. You know, the travel market is too hard to sell into. You'll never be able to build that technology. If IBM can't do it, how could you guys do it? I think we had certainly an amount of bullheadedness and stubbornness that allowed us to get this far. And right now, because the dynamic, I feel, works pretty well, we've been able to do some pretty amazing things in a very short period of time. So what I'd like to do is kind of recap on the whole half year to date, because You know, a ton of things have happened. We have company all hands every 6 weeks or so, and the aim is really to bring everybody together, give them an update in the business. It's really about transparency. They get to see everything, you know, our revenue numbers, the struggles we're having, our funding, all the different things that make being in a startup exciting and challenging. What this gives everybody an opportunity to do is understand how they fit into the whole big machine and how their piece contributes to the overall health of the business.
Despite a steep ascent in business, regular low-key strategy sessions with co-founders Dermot O'Connor and Alan Giles help keep the CEO's feet on the ground.
Yeah, I think it's good that we hang out socially as well as in work. Things do get tough and there's lots of pressure and stress, and we've always been able to kind of step back from it, leave it in the office. There's kind of a mutual respect there of what we do, and I think we've had to learn our roles as well.
We started out, we're three technology founders, obviously, so for us from the outset the culture was very tech driven, and in hindsight we've learned that we were missing a lot of the key skills around marketing and sales and all those things.
And we continuously learn against people who are smarter than us. You know, I'm not the best sales guy, nor is Dave, and you know, but like we've built that, you know, and we've learned from those people, and we thrive on it.
Ted, big step up.
One of the biggest challenges I have is managing kind of work-life balance. And Jo and I have talked long and hard about this. You know, she'd like me to work a little less, but the reality is, as we build Boxever, there's just more and more demands on my time. I commit as much time as is humanly possible to my family, but I think, you know, I think I still neglect them to a point, you know. And you know, so I typically kind of my work day. I typically I'm in work around 8. If I'm home early, it's like 7:30. If I'm home late, it's much later. So kind of weekdays, I may see the kids in the morning and the evening, and then I try to keep the weekends sacred, and that's the time for the family. And Jo and I kind of work hard at trying to spend time together, because after work and the kids, you know, there's very little time left. If I disappeared for 5 years and popped out with tons of money and great success, but my kids had grown up and hardly known me, I think it wouldn't be a success.
Next week, Oscar-nominated animators. From Tyrone, one of Ireland's biggest meat exporters. A Galway girl making it big in Silicon Valley. A son following in his father's footsteps. And 2 college friends conquering Asia.